while I update some stuff. So we have Georgia and the Balkans. We'll do a better stream introduction in a second, letting people gather. Okay, we have a scorecard up. Where are most of my replays? Are they mostly from one side or the other? Let's see, Thunderwolf, Lord Lever. Okay, yeah. So actually, that's going to be appropriate all day. Balkans will be on the left side. Georgia will be on the... Sorry. Balkans will be on the right. Georgia will be on the left, so that works. I don't have to keep transferring them. Cool. Go away, ad. Alright. Audio check. Georgia... Okay, cool. I'm gonna grab my tea while people gather, then we'll do an intro and get the shit started, huh? Oh, and Hazel's mad. Alright, I'm back. I got my tea. I got some water. Hey. We caught Human Boy watching the prawns. It's true. It's so true. Alright. We have 5 streams today. That might seem weird. And some people might be like, hey, Human Boy, you should just string those together and make one long stream. We're not going to do that. That might be the correct decision. Who knows? But I'm going to try this because for the World Cup, we have a bunch of smaller little streams. I'll show this you not in the dark. And people like to go click on the VODs. Like, these have pretty decent VOD viewership. I think almost 2/3 of the viewership comes after the live stream for something this short. And people like to be able to click on just this matchup rather than if I titled it World Cup Conglomerate, you know, and we're doing 5 matchups today. Less people click on that. There's not a good way to show who's all in it. The titles would be confusing and stuff. So, yeah, for VOD viewers, we're going to do 5 short streams so that afterwards it's easier to find them. And if you're live today, you're just going to go on a roller coaster. So I'm thinking what we're going to do is we're going to try and raid my own streams at the end of each one. Like, all right, see you on the Russia versus Spain, and then click it to just auto take you there, and then I hit start on that one. We're going to try it out. If it sucks, and we all learned a lesson. But it could be nice for the VOD people. Could be nice for those not catching it live. Yeah. So we're starting off Georgia and the Balkans. Here is the bracket for the overall World Cup. We have 5 matchups we're going to go through today. Georgia versus the Balkans, Italy versus Germany, Team America, World Police versus Scandinavia, USA 2 versus Netherlands, and then I believe Russia versus Spain. In those things, this entire round should be finishing up today. So I believe whoever wins between Italy and Germany and playing Russia, I think they're playing their last games today. Whoever wins between Georgia and the Balkans, I believe they're playing their last games with Switzerland today or tomorrow. Mexico and the Czechs haven't checked in. Hopefully they're doing fine. Yeah, why is that 9th? January 9th through the 15th. That should be 9th through the 16th, shouldn't it? No. Okay, yeah, I understand again. Never mind, I'm being stupid. Russia and Spain is done. France and USA, I don't know where they're at. I'll check in after the stream. And then USA and Canada, I know they have 1 game left. So, yeah. Should be good. Okay. Here's today's matchup. We have Team Georgia, not the state, the country. Lord Lever, Flower, Archangel, Chain Zanny, and Thunderwolf. They have global banned Beastmen, so the opponent cannot pick Beastmen for this entire series. Well, neither of them can. On the other side, the Balkans Federation, the Balkans Conglomerate, the Balkan Alliance. We have Prussian Prince, Nurgle's PA, Big Ketru, Ash, and Chimbambu. They have banned Demons of Chaos. You'll not see any Beastmen or Demons of Chaos for this stream. But that does leave dwarves open. Might get some dwarf games. Let's find out. So I need Lord Lever first, huh? And I was given feedback about this content that I should have a scorecard at the top. So I'm going to do that. The only trick is with these replays, if Georgia did a great job and they sent me all the replays, so thanks, Georgia. But if it switches sides, I'll have to switch where the names are, and that might be a little annoying. We'll figure that out. So, yes. You see all 5 games. You might be like, well, you're not using a blocker. I can see all 5 games. I know this goes to 5 games. I know the score is 3-2. You've spoiled it for me. You're a piece of shit. Well, hang on now. Jesus Christ. With this event type, they're played out of order. It's played however you can schedule with your opponent across from you. So I guarantee all 5 players play. It could be a 0-5. It could be a 3-2. All 5 games getting played no matter what. So there is no spoilers in showing you that there are 5 games. Both teams sent me some of the replays. Georgia sent me all 5. So I just grabbed all of Georgia's so they were on the same side. That does not guarantee that Georgia wins. Sounds good? Sounds good. First game is Warriors of Chaos versus Ogre Kingdoms. Hey, Contrarian. Hey, Captain Tealis. Captain Tealis is on my team. We'll be getting cast today. Hopefully we win. As if I don't fucking know. Oh, that is one thing. I have never seen any of these games before. I am casting them for the first time with you. I do know what team wins, but I've honestly forgotten the scores. So for all I know, it is a 5-0. But I know I'm helping them schedule the next rounds and stuff, so I'm like, oh yeah, blank team is in the next round already doing stuff. All right, for the Warriors of Chaos versus Ogre Kingdoms, very unique build. We have a Fleshy Abundance caster with Stream of Corruption who is going to try and heal up double Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, an anti-large armor-piercing duelist monster, generally considered not to be very good, but like Devil's Advocate, they have 76 speed and very impressive stats versus ogres. I guess they'll do something, but they tend to not perform great. We have Hellstriders of Slaanesh for their bonus versus large and relatively cheap price point. Then Marauders Great Weapons, a Chaos Feral Manticore, and the Summoners of Rage. So it is all Dragon Ogres all day. On the other side for the Ogre Kingdoms, we have Crushers. Looks like 2 Crushers, 2 Lead Belchers, a Thunder Tusk, a front line of Piggyback Riders and Noblars, and then we have a Troll Guts caster. So just a nice big healer. Thunder Tusk firing snowballs out. Good little hits onto the Marauders, but the Crushers are taking the main fight. Hellstrider's taking a lot of damage, as is the Manticore that's dove in, and they're getting nothing in return. Crushers 120 armor is keeping them very safe. I think actually the Lead Belchers were the target, and the Crushers are peeling, but still, either way, the Crushers are taking no damage, and they're dealing a ton of it. Thunder Tusk even dives in for a little bit of damage. Terror doesn't matter as much. These Hellstriders of Slaanesh, they are of Slaanesh, so they're ITP. Elsewhere is the main force of the Warriors of Chaos. The Crushers are actually getting slapped by the Dragon Ogres and the Dragon Ogre Shaggoths, so that is pretty cool to see that little tech piece doing good work. Extra ingredients is popped for the Slaughtermaster. Probably is trying to get a Troll Guts out onto these Crushers while he still has 11 models to heal up, because as he loses models, that's going to be less effective healing. The left flank for the Ogres is going great, and for the Warriors of Chaos is going terrible. The right flank is going much better for the Warriors of Chaos. We can see the Crushers are already terror routing despite the Troll Guts. I don't know if anything's going to have the time to go chase them down. The Hellstriders are looking pretty tattered and busy, so I don't know if they'll be able to get around the formation and chase these guys. And yeah, the terror route doesn't amount to a real route. They just come back. Overcasted Fleshy Abundance going to heal up all of the Dragon Ogre units. Oh, didn't hit that one. Did it target the Marauders? It did target the Marauders instead. And now this is a problem. Dragon Ogre is surrounded by Crusher models. Is probably going to lose that fight. Not probably. Is definitely losing that fight. Is losing that fight actively as he's down to half HP and the Crushers are just beating his ass. Nice Summoners of Rage. Little Chain Lightning does good damage to those piggyback riders and gets rid of their support. The Crushers are starting to pull back now, letting Nobblar Trappers fire in. Slaughtermaster escapes from the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle. Just wants to get to safety there. Bounce power is 50-50, as the Summoners of Rage and this Dragon Ogre Shaggoth are still very, very healthy. The other one, he didn't get healing. That's right. He's the one that was getting damaged. There's no healing for him. Maybe he'll get the next Fleshy Abundance. Income Hellstriders recharging these Crushers. Again, as we discussed before, though, 120 armor is a hell of a drug versus Hellstriders of Slaanesh. Still, a rear charge with an anti-large cav can get some damage, but as soon as the Crushers turned around, these guys just got punked. Now the Shaggoth is alone again. I love how this Shaggoth just keeps getting isolated by Crushers and other nonsense, while the other one is hanging out with the Summoners of Rage constantly. Looks like this Shaggoth is going to go help out his brother, leaving the Summoners of Rage to their fate, because they're fighting on top of Piggyback Riders, which is no joke. Piggyback Riders don't fuck around. Significant anti-large melee presence. Crusher's still taking big damage. One of the Shaggoths is retreating as the Troll Guts comes in for the Thunder Tusk that has taken significant damage. We need a Fleshy Abundance onto this Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, but maybe they're saving up for another Overcast onto all three of these units. If that works out, that would be good, but I am getting concerned that there will not be anything alive to receive the Fleshy Abundance as a Crusher Surround comes in. Crushers are spooky, man. Even at low hit points, they're still gonna pack a punch, but they are not immune to terror, as we've already seen in this game. So can they get terror routed away? And that might buy the Shaggoths a little bit of time. There goes one terror route, but this other Shaggoth might be routing too. No, he manages to hold on. We really need another Fleshy Abundance from the Nurgle caster. It looks like he is going to have to go with a single target. Just doesn't have the Winds of Magic for a big Overcast. The Summoner's Rage are terror routing away as the Fleshy Abundance heals up the most wounded Shaggoth, who is running back in to fight with the Thunder Tusk. Gets a Meat Feast. He's got to be hitting his heal cap soon if he's gotten a Troll Guts and a Meat Feast. Where are the Crushers? Still, one is still in the fight. Only 7 models, only 1,000 HP. The other one has 600 HP on the high ground with like 3 models left. So the Crushers are pretty much a spent force, but so are the Warriors of Chaos. It's not like they're sitting on a ton of troops happy to grind this out. A full health Thunder Tusk back from all of that healing. Trappers firing in, and the Shaggoths are both just so tired. We know we just saw a Fleshy Abundance, and this is a Nurgle caster on the Warriors of Chaos roster. It's not like we have a tier 2 Fecundity coming in or anything like that. The Shaggoths get the help they get for quite a while as Fleshy is still on cooldown. Beautiful rear charge in. Summoners of Rage and the Shaggoth taking out the Crushers. There's still a lot of Nobblars. Nobblars aren't exactly great melee units, but there are a lot of them for wounded Shaggoths to clear out while dealing with a full health Thunder Tusk running around. Shaggoth and the Summoners of Rage both routing. It is down to just a Nurgle Sorcerer and this Shaggoth. That seems like too much for the Warriors of Chaos to manage. It was a cool build, and it was played very well, but Nurgle's form of healing just can't compare to the Ogre's healing they can bring right now. Is this Hayseed? Did he switch to Georgia? Maybe he did. Bryson Prince brought the DLC just so he could play this game with Ogres. True story. That's pretty funny. I legit thought the country is just filler. Nobody actually lives there. The U.S. county of Georgia. Just the county of Georgia. Sorry, I'm catching up on chat as we watch this Nurgle Sorcerer try and carry. I am a suspect of his ability to carry the whole game. Nurgle's healing not compared to Ogres is the saddest power creep we've heard today. Yeah. Troll Guts in on the caster. And he throws in the towel. Lord Lever, very good attempt with a very cool build. But power creep is on full display. He made the Dragon Ogre Shaggoths and the regular Dragon Ogres do some serious work. Manticores have fallen from grace since Warhammer 2, and I think they have a very hard time doing anything to Ogres. Ogres are great at surrounding them in mass and just beating the piss out of them, as we saw. For Prussian Prince, his Crushers did really good. Thundertusk did fantastically. Leadbelchers got shut down quite quickly by Lord Lever, but then the Piggyback Riders did super well, and the Healing Caster. I love how most of the value, like Noblo Trappers did great, but it was like Thundertusk, very strong, lots of value. Piggyback Riders, very strong, lots of value. And you go, DLC units go burr. Now Crushers, Trappers going burr, those were units in the base game, so maybe fuck me and fuck my argument, but still funny. Still funny to point at DLC units and go, haha, DLC go burr. Alright, let's give the Balkans their point. Bam! Let's go to the Photoshop. Boop. And then I need to select. Is it that one? Let us go with Ash. Ash. Check mark. Bam. And then we give the green check mark, meaning a victory, to Prussian Prince. Nice job, lads. Game 2 is Flower versus Nurgle's PA. Let's go find it. Flower versus Nurgle's PA. Slaanesh for the side of Georgia. Empire for the Balkans. Ban Thundertusk. It is pretty strong. Love your vids, by the way. Thanks, dude. Thanks. Do monsters actually have more HP on the largest unit scale? Yeah. They scale with health. Alright. Slaanesh on a nice and small map. We have Chaos Furies, we have Seekers, the Eternal Entourage, Heartseeker, ROR, a frontline Devoted Marauders, a Zazel with Rampage and Acquiescence, and then a Fiend. There's also something behind my camera. It's another Seeker. Wow, Heartseekers too. For the Empire, we have Empire Knights, Demigryph Knights with Halberds, 2 Demigryph Knights with Halberds. We have Marcus Wolfheart with just his net, an Amber Wizard with just Flock of Doom, frontline of Halberds and Spearmen. Then we have the Silver Bullets, some Free Company Militia, and that is it. So trying to go with the hybrid shooting of the Free Company Militia, not investing as much in their armor piercing because Slaanesh has low armor in general, so I guess you can get some good shots out. I'm generally not a Free Company believer, but this is one of the matchups where they're fine because their armor piercing is pretty useless versus Slaanesh in general, and their hybrid melee stats and low price point at least mean when Slaanesh rampages them or runs them down with Seekers, it's not as big of a loss as like handgunners or something. So Free Company's running out, getting some little poke damage onto the Seekers. They're about to get charged, as we all know, but now the Demigryph Knights with Halberds can countercharge, which is exactly what's going to happen here. So it's a bad time to be a Seeker, because you're killing, like... Because you got to think about it. This is a missile unit, but it's the price of an orc boy. Just a random orc boy. So you're losing a Seeker for an orc boy, right? That's why it's a good trade. Marcus Wolfheart getting a beautiful net down onto the Eternal Entourage, who again get shot at point-blank range by Free Company Militia, already down to half HP. The Silver Bullets try and get some shots off, but the Furies are down. Beautiful protection here for the Empire's ranged units, and even the ones that are dying, or at least dying with a vengeance. Now this is a problem. Good rear charge in from the Fiends. So the Demigryph Knights are about to rout, just getting surrounded by too much stuff. They went out swinging, but Slaanesh be fast, Slaanesh be swift. Eternal Entourage almost dead, as the Demigryph Knights are going to get a side charge onto them with their Perfect Vigor and elite hybrid, elite Regiment of Renown stats. They're very hard to Demonic Instability crumble, so you pretty much have to kill them outright. But, I mean, you're getting quite close to killing them outright, as the other Seekers are also thinking about disintegrating away. Have to be careful with the Demigryph Knights. Don't want them to overextend, and then these Seekers come up behind, because we saw how quickly the other Demigryph Knight with Halberd died when the Fiends got behind them, and it looks like Nurgle's PA is not going to let a flank happen. He is going to flank them, but now Slaanesh already diving back in, so this is a big cav fight of confusion and who gets the rear charge on who, but there is constant support coming in as the Silver Bullets are lighting up Azazel with some help from the Free Company Militia. Amber Wizard is attempting to get sniped out. Well, these other Free Company Militia were trying to help with the cav fight, but they get stopped by the Seekers, and you can see instant deletion on the Demigryph Knights as the Seekers get their hands on them. Now the Eternal Entourage do die for the cause, and there's a beautiful Flock of Doom overhead, but both sides playing this cav fight really, really well. And the balance of power is about even to show it. The front line is a bit of a wash. The Marauders will eventually win, but the Empire have more troops. They have extra halberds to throw into the fight if they need to. As the shooting keeps firing away, the Silver Bullets and a Free Company Militia still online. It looks like the rest of the Empire shooting is down. Wolfheart is here with full ammunition pretty much. And the Amber Wizard is about to get rampaged or narcissismed? Rampaged. Interesting. Spend a tier 3 on that. I would use it on the Silver Bullets, personally. Good net in for Marcus Wolfheart, and it looks like, yeah, they're going to ignore Azazel. That's really tempting to shoot at a Lord who's that low and dives in, but I think when you had the Fiends at full health netted in front of the Silver Bullets, Marcus, and the Free Company Militia, I think it was appropriate to get just a gorgeous volley onto them. Acquiescence for the Silver Bullets, making them even easier to kill off. The Empire's pulling ahead further on the balance of power. We're about to lose some more Seekers, but I'm getting worried when the Silver Bullets get shut down. That is a lot of damage output for the Empire just gone, as we have some Demigryphs and some Empire Knights trying to come back to the fight. Halberds are walking around, slowly poking away at things. Free Company with their firewall moving, sprinting back into the fight, firing their pistols as Marcus is also shooting in. But Azazel's clutching to life, the Fiends are clutching to life, and the Empire's staying power is withering. A lot of balance of power is in the full health Marcus Wolfheart, but if you've played against Slaanesh, you'll know that a quick surround by Fiends, even Fiends this low, or Azazel attacking him, Marcus is going to have a bad time. The hybrid Archer Lord does not stand a chance against the focused forces of Slaanesh. Balance of power is creeping back towards the middle as Marcus is desperately trying to kill these Fiends. They did have to charge back into Halberds. The Halberds should trade pretty okay into them. Their stats are getting lowered by the Fiend's little musk thing, soporific musk, but overall, it's going okay. We're going to lose some more Seekers, but here come the Marauders we were talking about. They did eventually beat the Empire frontline. It just took a long time. Ember Wizard running away from Marauders. Marauders of Slaanesh pretty fast, faster than the Ember Wizard, so he's actually not going to be able to come back and use his Flock of Dooms just yet. Fiends take another shot from Marcus in the back, but the Silver Bullets slipping away to safety could actually be pretty huge. Silver Bullets can get a lot of damage out even at 1/3 of their models. Fiends at 4 models left. Azazel getting shot by Free Company Militia. Look at his 5 armor. He's trying to dodge around, but he takes about 1,500 damage from them on his way in. 2,000 damage even, and he terror routes him. Marcus is running away. Silver Bullets are back. Demigryph Knights retreating for now. They don't cause terror. It's Slaanesh. Never mind. Terror doesn't matter. Silver Bullets get some good shots onto the Devoted Marauders. Marcus is kiting away. He still has 16 shots, which is quite a lot of damage he can put out. And the Fiends are really focusing on that Flock of Doomcaster, because that's a big thing for the Empire. If they had their Flock of Doomcaster, I wouldn't be worried about this game at all, because he could just run away and kite with Marcus and then cast Flock of Doom over and over again on these Marauders. Oh, Fascination just kills the Silver Bullets outright, and then a Pavane onto the Demigryph Knights rampages them, but also, I mean, it does damage, so they might die too. Things getting spookier and spookier for our friends, the Empire. Free Company Militia shut down. Wolfheart's still trying to kite away. He's got to find a way to finish off Azazel to lower the leadership of everything. That would also take out the Fiends, but oh no! They let the Ember Wizard come back! Now the Fiends are going to hide when they're in the forest! They're going to hide when they're in the forest! The Ember Wizard won't know they're there, so he'll come back! Wait, do they not have hide in forest? That's actually a boon for them. Okay, that got really scary, but we got it done. Azazel gets netted. He's going to try and land and do what dodging he can while the Free Company Militia is still firing in. Marcus is still running away. Can't take the time to stop and shoot at Azazel, which is pretty bad for him. Balance power turns into Slaanesh's favor. The The Fiends are back in. Demigryph Knights take a final charge versus them. Take out a Fiend model and actually get them close to Demonic Instability Crumbling. There they go. The Demigryphs hold. The men of the Empire are no cowards. And Azazel has to land, but he is wondering whether he should do it onto the Demigryphs or not. Does land, but now he's still in front of those Free Company Militia. We're still poking him down to 800 HP. Marcus only has 7 shots left. The Marauders aren't looking as scary as they once were, and Azazel dodges a shot from Marcus because Marcus does not have homing arrows. He is just a man. Just a man with a bow. If Marcus can hit Azazel one time with his missile strength, he'll probably get Azazel to start Demonic Instability Crumbling, but he's not able to do it just yet. Halberdier still fighting it out. Marcus is down to 4 shots left. Azazel lands on halberds. He is infantry size, so the halberds don't get their bonus versus large versus him, and he is going to just terror out them. Any second now is what he's going for. Marcus is not able to get a shot off onto him while he's on the ground, and now Marcus is alone. Since those halberds are routing, that is GG. That was a very, very close game. Nergy won this game. I don't believe it's on the TV. All right. Solid game. Marauders, good pressure. Seekers, insane value, as we have seen many times, but the Eternal Entourage got smoked. Furies didn't get a lot of value, but they did block guns for a bit, and Fiends did well. On the other side, Marcus Wolfheart and the Amber Wizard did all right. Free Company Militia, solid value overall, if you take them as a whole, because some of them were like getting sacrificed to Seekers intentionally so that the Silver Bullets could stay up, and the Silver Bullets got great value. Empire Knights just had to be blockers. Demigryph Knights with halberds did not get a lot of value either, but they did their best. GG. I almost went for a blocker, and then I realized we don't need a blocker. So Georgia striking back. 1-1. You'll see both those players again, actually. In our faction war, if I remember who that was right. Yeah, Flower is playing Dark Elves in our faction war, and Nurgle's PA is playing Nurgle in the faction war. So if you liked that game, get ready for many more. I think they're on opposite sides of the bracket. No, they're not on opposite sides of the bracket, but they're not playing round 1. So you won't see that exact matchup, but yeah. Okay, enough prattle. What are we doing? 1-1? Got it. Photoshop. Bam. George is on the board. Next up is Archangel versus Big Ketru. Big if true, more like Big Ketru. Ha 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 ha. I said Archangel, right? Yeah, cool. This is a small battle. This is a teeny tiny little battle. The model counts will not be very high in Lizardmen versus Khorne. All right. 680 versus 650. We have a Saurus Spear frontline, bestowed on Solar Engine, and then Dread Saurian, not the ROR, 2 Chameleon Skinks, and then Maz the Mundi on Zlak, with Net, Apotheosis, and Harmonic Convergence. On the other side for Khorne, 4 Marauder Horsemen throwing axes, the Hellforged Bellowers, triple Minotaurs with great weapons, 3 Marauders, one of which has dual weapons, and then we have Scarbrand with his Rampage. Both sides know what's up here. Lizardmen are not bringing a lot of Skinks because they don't want to feed Khorne kills for their army passive. They're bringing Saurus because Saurus are slow, but also have lower models and are harder to kill. Dread Saurian's a nice little duelist. We are playing on Conquest, so the Lizards look like they just want to take the point and then force Khorne to grind them. I don't fully know what the Solar Engine's for. Khorne isn't known for his healing. and it's not that good of anti-skirmish. If the maybe I'm just misreading what his strategy is, but if the strategy is just to stand on the point and heal, and if Khorne wants to mamby-pamby about, then let him. Why didn't we take a Rev Crystal for even more healing? But maybe I'm misunderstanding what the plan is here. Hellforged Balor is getting good damage onto the Sora Spears. Mazda's just trying to wait out that damage. Once it runs out of ammo, it's got to come into melee to get more ammunition, and Mazda has net. So if he can get the Dread Saurian, or even just himself, onto the Hellforged Balors when they come in for ammo, it can die pretty quick. The hills are not helping the Skull Cannon, as it has to fire at a bit of a decline here. We can see it keeps hitting the bump. And the throwing axe is being kept at bay by Chameleon Skinks right now. Dread Saurian also has the little machine gun turrets on its back. It won't win a skirmish fight, but it can at least fight back a little bit against throwing axe cav. Can damage him a little. Hellforged Balor is another shot onto the Sora Spears. Fire damage, of course, reducing the healing they're going to get. But all that effort so far to almost kill one Sora Spear is pretty tough. Which is another reason to take Soras in this matchup. Skinks are tightly packed, so it's easier for the Hellforged Balors to, like, one-shot a unit. But the Saurus, nice and widely spread out. We can see another shot coming in here. It does good damage, but just not as many of their models are in the fires as Skinks would be. Unfortunately for them, they just walked back into that while I was doing my example, but you get the point. Conquest point is ticking up, and still Khorne has made no move to start the melee engagement. I like this. The Solar Engine's going to start trying to soften up the Minotaurs. If the skirmish elements just want to skirmish, you can at least damage the guys who eventually have to come clean up the mess. I'm kind of surprised we're not getting a shield the old ones out. Try and help with the damage mitigation. Solar Engine does need to focus up a little bit. It's kind of just taking shots at whatever it feels like, which I don't think is correct. Solar Engine doesn't have the type of damage where you can spread its damage and be impactful. I think it does have to, like, focus fire down some Minotaurs or something. Because Khorne is completely giving you the point, so just damage their Minotaurs, damage their potential to actually push you off the point. You'll be fine. Is the Solar Engine not good against Missile Cap? Not really. We can see from its volley. It did okay, but not amazing. Hellforged Balor is still trying to just kite out the Saurus. Still has 2 shots left. Then they'll have to do something about it. Hit the ground more than it should. Something about this map. Yeah. One shot left for the Hellforged. I mean, it's only 600 tickets. The Lizardmen are 1/4 of the way to victory. I appreciate Khorne's trying to get their damage out, but I'm a little concerned. Dread Saurian tanks a couple of the shots for the Saurus Spears. And that's it. We'll see what they do after the Hellforged Balors has to back off, because these Marauder Horsemen don't have quite the range the other guys do. I'm going to fast forward until Khorne does something. There we go. So trying to move up now. See, that's what I wish the Solar Engine had been doing this whole time. It's getting significant damage onto the Minotaurs. So if it had been shooting them this whole time instead of kind of half and half doing different things, you could honestly have like a 1/3 HP Minotaur, and then that's just going to rout instantly once it gets into combat. Would have preferred that. The Throwing Axe is having just the hardest time participating. I think they're maybe being a little too sheepish. I can appreciate that they don't want to get shot by the Shredder and the Chameleon Skinks, but there's only 2 Chameleon Skinks, so once you see them over here, you can move in on this side and get some almost free shots in. Khorne's finally going to engage in the melee. In comes an Overcasted Net from Mazda. What's the follow-up here? Ruination of Cities. Okay, that's all right. I don't love that net. I thought they'd want to do more of a follow-up on it, but there's not enough range damage here to really follow up. And now the Hellforged Balors can't get netted. Net's on cooldown, so it's just trying to get some healing, get some ammunition, and get out of here. Chameleon Skink's doing a lot of damage to it. Mazda's going to start moving over, and with Harmonic Convergence on, he should be able to get good hits on the Hellforged Balors. It should be retreating now, and there's a Rampage, so Mazda can't pick his targets, though. His target is already set as the Hellforged Balors, and that's actually about to Demonic Instability crumble at half HP. I'm a little surprised it's doing so poor on the leadership front, but there it goes. Scarbin's in a fight with the Dread Saurian, but I would way rather be the Lizardmen right now. Hellforged Balors falling. Does rally. And the Bastillon is trying to fire into the fight. He can get decent damage on the Minotaurs, but he's mostly trying to apply that blinded debuff. Minus 24 melee stats is pretty significant. The Dread Saurian is getting murked right now. Scarbrand and the boys all teaming up on him, but plenty of Saurus Spears around to help out, saturating the feet of the Minotaurs, just poking them with their little sticks. Khorne's in a bad way. Skirmish Cav firing in, Soul Ranger taking a lot of damage. It's a good pick off for Khorne here. The Saurus Spears took a lot of damage from the Hellforged Bellowers on the way in, but they seem to be well enough to keep holding. There's only 3 Marauders as far as infantry goes, so it's not like Khorne is bringing their best. You know, Chosen or those Bloodwake Berserkers, the Slaughter Brutes or whatever. You don't have any of those guys going through here. Scarbrand's trying to duel the Dread Saurian. It's a losing fight, especially with Harmonic Convergence. 78-62 for melee stats versus 64-50 and a much larger health pool. Scarbrand needs to get out of here. He's running for the hills. Hellforged Bellowers has 1 shot it acquired, so it's going to turn around and fire. Just broadsides the Dread Saurian. It looks cool, but doesn't do that much damage. And Scarbrand and the Minotaurs are back in. The Dread Saurian only has Apotheosis for healing, so it does have to be a little careful to not get bursted too heavily. It's not like there's an overcasted regrowth to save him. It is pretty slow and steady with Apotheosis. Now the Lizardmen lines are starting to buckle. We've lost the Saurus Spear. We've lost the Solar Engine. Another Saurus Spear is about to get going. Chameleon Skinks getting run down by these Skirmish Cav. And if the Chameleon Skinks go, then these Skirmish Cav are free and clear to sit and fire as much as they want. Dread Saurian rampaging. Its leadership is very low. If there's a Cold-Blooded on cooldown for Mazdamundi, he needs to use it as soon as the rampage is over. But one of the Minotaurs is leaving. Scarbrand isn't the healthiest either. Other Minotaurs are still sitting here surrounding the Dread Saurian. In comes a Ruination of Cities, trying to get rid of those Minotaurs, trying to save the day, but it gets canceled for an Apotheosis instead. The Dread Saurian needs to be fighting on top of the last Saurus Spears that are left, but Shield the Old Ones can't save him. The Dread Saurian routes! And that could be disaster here for the Lizardmen. A big Ruination of Cities. Does he get good RNG to go through all these Marauder Horsemen? Yeah, pretty good RNG, honestly. Not perfect, but like pretty good. Marauder Horseman took a lot of damage. There's still a ton more. Mazda's trying to push back Scarbrand, but the conquest point is capturing up. I'm not used to looking for that. We are 3/4 of the way to a conquest victory for the Lizardmen, so Khorne is on a timer. If this was land battles, they could easily pull back with their Skirmish Cav and just skirmish at this point now that they are free and clear. There's no threat left to them, but they only have 150 tickets left. Mazda's trying to get away from Scarbrand, pats into his own Saurus Spears. And he used a net on the Hellforged Bellowers because the Hellforged Bellowers was the only thing routing the Dread Saurian. Oh, that's glorious. That was really good play. Dread Saurian is back. Rear charge onto the Hellforged Bellowers, trying to get rid of that guy. Trying to rout him off. Khorne is still trying to capture the point, but those stalwart Saurus are holding, and the Marauders aren't the healthiest. They don't have the most capture weight. Lizardmen are still routing in every direction, but Mazda has rallied the Dread Saurian. He doesn't have an Apotheosis off cooldown right now. He's been using a lot of spells, so I honestly don't know what his Winds of Magic situation is looking like, but I don't think he has a heal for the Dread Saurian just yet. Could be concerning. He's only at 17 leadership. Khorne is now starting to capture the point. The Lizardmen are all of a sudden the ones without capture weight. So what they probably want to do if they're going to win by conquest is they got to just rout these guys because they can't hold the point anymore. So they have to hold it by keeping everyone else off of it, not by contesting it. You know what I mean? Because the Dread Saurian and Mazda sitting on there isn't providing much capture weight. They can't outdo these Marauders. So it looks like they're coming in now, trying to rout these guys. The Dread Saurian did not get any healing. Like I said, Apotheosis is probably on cooldown, probably out of mana. And Khorne does capture the point just in time. So now, unfortunately for the Lizardmen, they do have to kill everything. There's no shot they capture this back without already essentially killing everything anyway. Scarbrand is back in. Shield of the Old Ones is keeping the Dread Saurian in leadership-wise. He unfortunately pats out of it. The Rampage wears off. He needs another Cold-Blooded. He needs Apotheosis. He needs something as he gets rear-charged by Scarbrand. There's a Cold-Blooded just in time to keep him in the fight. As all the Minotaurs are routing, it's only Scarbrand now for a real central presence. And the Dread Saurian is coming in for a rear charge, gets a big chomp out of crime. Scarbrand takes a ton of damage, but the Dread Saurian is only kept in this fight by Cold-Blooded. 20 seconds left until he routs of his own accord, but Scarbrand is starting to fall. 0 leadership. And the Horn of Khorne is active, meaning there's no tier 2 army ability that can keep him alive indefinitely with the Unbreakable Rage or whatever. There's just not enough models to kill to get that kind of stuff out. But the Dread Saurian is going to rout. As soon as Cold-Blooded wears off, he's going to rout regardless. So it's just Mazda versus the world. Cold-Blooded 3, 2, 1. The Dread Saurian is gone. We have some Chameleon Skinks. And Khorne has the point, but no, they charged in. Oh no, that was a critical mistake from Khorne. That was a critical mistake. He had so many things terror routing, and only Mazda was here. He charged in with his last Marauder Horseman, and they got terror routed, and then everything was technically routing, so he lost. But I think if Keeter, Big Catcher, whatever you want to call him, had backed off with his Marauder Horseman, it's Conquest. There's no attacking rules. You don't have to attack. If he backed off, some of his other terror routing components could have come back, and then he maybe had a shot. I don't know if he could kill Mazda. I don't know if he could kill Mazda with the healing, but it was a bit of an overeager mistake to charge in with your last unit that then gets terror routed, and you get, like, army lost on a technicality, because nothing was there. Cue the Carl Franz. I hate Solrus. Fucking Solrus. Dread Saurian 4,000 value, Mazda 2,600 as well. Chameleon Skinks in the Solar Engine did fine. And Saurus, they didn't get a lot of value, but they took all of the Skull Cannon's ammo to kill them off, and they still provided a nice little buffer, a constant holding point, and they took the point. I think the Saurus did well, even though their value is not going to show it. They did what they had to. For Big Ketru, very close game, very good. I thought he was being a little overpatient with the Marauder Horseman, but in the late game, he did fantastically with them. That one slip-up where he threw one in and it got terror out and army lost aside, like, I wasn't talking about them a ton, but they swept up the Chameleon Skinks quite well. They used their throwing axes very effectively to take out the Solar Engine. They reduced the healing the Dread Saurian could get. He played very well with them. Minotaurs just had a hard time. They ended up in a melee fight with a ton of Saurus Spears between their legs, getting debuffed by the Solar Engine, and then fighting a Dread Saurian. It was tough. Hellforged Bellers did well. Very close game. Very GG. Georgia is up 2-1. Let's take you over the Photoshop briefly. Bam. All right. If you're rooting for the Balkans, we need Ash and Chimbambu to 2-0 sweep the final games. If you want Georgia to win, you are just hoping for one win to clinch it. Chain Soldier versus Ash. Get more Khorne, though this time it is on the other team. I hate their lizard faces. Alright, catching up chat while we load in. Very hard to aim when you're a Stegodon. Foy. I'm just catching up on chat. We'll get to the game in a second. All right. I'm back. So, what do we have? For Georgia and Chain Soldier, we have the Hellforged Bellowers, ROR Skull Cannon. Then we have Arbal the Undefeated and Karanak. Some Khorne Gores. Some dogs, there we go. Fleshhounds of Khorne, Marauder Horsemen throwing axes, and then Marauders and more Khorne Gores. So pretty heavy on the light infantry. Light infantry in single entities, barely any cavalry component. For the Ash and the Tomb Kings, we do have Cetra the Imperishable on his kitty cat with Usurian's Incantation of Vengeance and Protection. Chosen of the Gods with Shopkeeper ROR, our Necro Sphinx regular, 2 Sporkle Stalkers, one which is the Chosen of the Gods, not that, Eyes of the Desert ROR. Then Tomb Guard, Skeleton Spears, and a regular Ushapti. Usurians plus Chosen of the Gods Fire. Doing a lot of damage to the Marauder Horseman. But speaking of doing a lot of damage, the RR Skullcan is doing more than I would expect versus the Chosen of the Gods. And Arbal is coming in too. He has his little eruption thing. I don't think I see his Chaos Spawn. There we go. He has his Chaos Spawn summoned too, so if something gets actually pretty low, you could deal with it that way. A net onto Cetra the Imperishable from Karanak, but doesn't look like much is gonna come of it. I wonder if he just wanted to... I wonder if he was thinking about diving in, and then he cast the net and was like, never mind, this is a bad idea, and backed off. Don't know. The Hellforged Beller is getting close to finishing off the Chosen of the Gods. Meow. Well, I think that's a different Georgia, you silly. I wonder if Arbal is just trying to get the Chaos Spawn summon to go off onto the Chosen of the Gods. I think he's trying to get him low enough so he can just pop that summon and get rid of him altogether. This might be a whoopsie. Karanak overextended, takes a nasty volley from Sporkle Stalkers, takes a rear charge in from the Necro Sphinx. It looks like Cetra's about to get out on the action too. They are now blocking the Sparkle Stalkers, but still overall really good damage from them. Another shot coming in from the Hellforged Bellowers. It looks so cool. It looks cool. I think even if you hate the Hellforged Bellowers for being OP, I think you have to admit they look cool, and their sound design is amazing. The rest, pretty whatever. Tomb Kings have captured the point. Khorne is content for now to just finish off the Chosen of the Gods with their Skull Cannon. Now they're just going to crumble. I honestly wouldn't waste another shot on them. I'd start shooting at all of these skeletons, which actually, that damage on the skeletons could be nasty. Don't do it. Don't waste a shot on these guys. They're already toast. Just let them crumble. Chosen of the Gods trying to shoot at what they can while they still can. And yeah, he's turned his Skull Cannon onto the Tomb Guard. Very smart. Very smart. Good play. Big brain. Leonard? True. They'd look cooler if they weren't so damn busted, not gonna lie. Straight up bussin'. I've already almost killed Tomb Guard. Necro Sphinx and Cetra went out for a little bit of a dance party, but Arbol and some Khorne Gorers are not as big of a fan of the music being played. Forcing the Necro Sphinx back towards their lines. Hellforged Bellowers have one shot left. And similar to Lizardmen game, Tomb Kings racking up a lot of tickets before the fight even begins. But I think Khorne is a little happier to see all these skeletons than it was to see Saurus last time. Skeletons are just easier to kill, and you can get way more army passive quicker. Karanak uses another net onto Cetra, and I guess he's just doing it for the damage. I wonder if he's worried about Karanak getting sniped, so he wants to get all of his casts out for the extra damage while he can. Not as concerned about actually netting Cetra in a bad spot, but it's felt a little weird. Khorne is finally ready to come party, and unfortunately for the Tomb Kings, they're actually barely on the capture point, so it could be feasible for Khorne to get more weight actually on the point and capture it. That could be concerning. Cetra, beautiful charge. Collision attacks going nuts. He takes a fourth of the health off that Marauder on the way in. Arbol's trying to find a good place for himself to be. Tomb King's a little behind in the balance of power. And remember, if you want Game 5 to matter for the whole series, you are rooting for the Tomb Kings, who are currently behind on the balance of power. And I would tend to agree. They lost an entire Tomb Guard and the Chosen of the Gods before this battle even started. Hellforged Bellowers is in, trying to get some regeneration, trying to get some ammo, but the Necro Sphinx is on top of it, down to half HP already for the Hellforged Bellowers. They start to path away. Can Sparkle Stalkers get a parting shot on them, or someone to get them to demonic instability crumble? Does not look to be the case, as the Necro Sphinx is currently T-posing his way to victory. Arbol gets between him and his target and just barely stops him in place, as the Tomb Kings are fully surrounded by Khorne warriors and starting to take some significant damage, but the Necro Sphinx falls back. Cetra and the Necro Sphinx are both very healthy. Sparkle Stalkers, very healthy, though they are having some line of sight issues. There's nothing big and tall for them to shoot. Arbol is not the biggest target. His flag is tall, but he himself is not. Fleshhounds aren't that tall. Karanak's not that tall. So Sparkle Stalkers are actually not feeling the greatest about this. The Tomb Kings have come right back up on the balance of power. The melee fight is going much better for them than I would have expected. I guess they're getting through those Skeleton Spearmen, but somehow Khorne Marauders always disappoint me. Their stats look so good, and then they are so bad. So Skeletons are holding. Cetra is still cycle charging through these guys easily, and the Hellforged Bellowers got one more shot off on the Tomb Guard, and now is back in to try and regenerate more. The Necro Sphinx taking a lot of damage from Arbol as I accidentally go beneath the map, and now I can't get back up. Oh my god! Necro Sphinx very low, Hellforged Bellowers very low, Sparkle Stalkers healthy, Cetra healthy, Karanak low, Arbol fine. And where is his Chaos Spawn summon? That is not a Chaos Spawn summon, that is a Nushapti summon. That is the opposite of what you want, as the Hellforged Bellowers is taken out. More and more skeletons are dying. Khorne has plenty of army passive now. I wonder what they're going to use it on. Could be Horns of Khorne. I wouldn't hate for a Sword of Khorne, but it'd have to be like back here. You'd have to get a 2-for-1 on these two big units, otherwise it's not worth it. I guess you could just do Horn of Khornes. I've actually recently been liking the tier 2 army ability of Khorne a lot, especially for Khorne Gorers. He is going with the Sword of Khorne onto the Tomb Guard that's relatively healthy. Beautiful shot, takes them out, and he even dodged with the Khorne Gorers. So that was pretty nice synergy there. Liked that. I don't know if it was the correct decision, but I think he did it as correctly as he could. I haven't seen the Chaos Spawn summon yet. He hasn't used it. Yeah, and he does have to use that soon. Arball's getting slapped, but the Necrosphinx Tomb Kings are all of a sudden very far in the lead. The Khorne Gores and the Marauders still trying to get the job done, but the Tomb Kings infantry, tenacious, apparently. We have half health one there, almost dead one there. The rest is just Ushabti. Now, one of these Ushabti is fake, to be fair. It is a fake summon, but there's the Chaos Spawn at last. They're here. Sepulchral Stalker's still very healthy. Someone's got to do something about that, but I guess they're also trying to snipe out the Necrosphinx and Cetra. Fake Ushabti summon, gonna fade away in 8 seconds. That should make this battlefield look a lot better for Khorne, as they're trying to bring some disparate forces back in. We have random Marauders that need to be brought back to the fight, and it looks like they will be, but everybody's so low. Everybody's so susceptible to terror. Arball is gonna rout soon. Karanak's gonna demolish the Spilly Crumble, and now it looks like the Summon Chaos Spawn are the last real force for Khorne on the battlefield, and they only have, you know, 55 seconds to be alive. Sepulchral Stalker's gonna kite them out. Retreat in every direction, just waiting for the Chaos Spawn to fade away. And then after that, only Arball could chase them, and that's just not nearly enough. So, yeah, I think the Tomb Kings have this well in hand. I like this, though. Just avoiding the Chaos Spawn. Don't even fight it. Just draw it out. You don't care. If your Necrosphinx dies, if your Shafty dies, if your Skeleton dies, who cares? You've got this. You can win the game by just kiting with your Sepulchral Stalkers, so do that. Be safe. Arball terror routes, for someone who is undefeated and apparently a terror who's never, you know, lost in combat, it's weird for him not to have ITP. I'll die on this hill. A lot more elite things should have ITP. No. Hear me out. Hear me out. You could be an ogre elite riding a rhinoceros, and you have a club the size of most men. And a manticore dives next to you and you go, ah, spooky, and you run away. A manticore. You're as tall as a manticore. We're going to game 5. I mean, of course we're going to game 5, but game 5 is going to be the decider here. Khorne Gores did okay. Marauders, I don't know what's wrong with Marauders. Their stat line looks so good, but they like never do well. It's wild. Khorne Marauders. Other Marauders are good. For Ashe, Cetra got really good value. Skeletons held. They did their jobs. Melee Shop did okay. Necrosphinx did well. Sepulchral Stalkers did fine. Chosen Gods got sniped out. GG. GG. Let's update the text. Bam. 2-2. It's game 5, baby. Bam. Game 5. Thunderwolf versus Chimbambu. Chimma. Bamba. Boo. Okay, where was it? That one. Oh, I need Total Tavern. One sec. That's right. I gotta go get the mod pack. Oh, I just gotta turn it on. I don't have to go get it. Everybody hold your horses. Activate. Today. Forgot to go turn on the mod pack. The map pack. Does lag appear in replays? No. But manticores have big scary claws and teeth. Lies. Lies! Okay. Boom. We're back in. Sorry. I had to get the map pack so I could actually cast the map they were on. Thunderwolf on the Tomb Kings versus Dark Elves. Alright, I announce this every time. I'm not a domination player. But I thought Dark Elves were ass in Dom. So I'm confused. I wish him well, but consider me a spooked. All right, starting armies. relatively unimportant because you can just summon, but for the Tomb Kings, it is a mass of skeleton spears and warriors, then some Nekar warriors, so really going for bodies to saturate the start. We have double Necrotect, one with Restore, both with the Vambraces of the Sun for debuffs and fire damage. Then we have the Chosen of the Gods and Cetra on his Kit Kat. On the other side, for the Dark Elves starting army, 4 Dark Shards, a Beastmaster on his Scourge Runner Chariot, more Scourge Runners, then some Bleak Swords, some Dread Spears here and there, and we do have a Fire Cast with Fireball and Burning Head. So both sides going with a pretty infantry-heavy start. Dark Elves more missiles, Tomb Kings more heroes. Medusas for Dark Elves. I've heard from Turin and Tim the Wilder that they're pretty strong. Chosen of the Gods going to start firing at the Dark Shards. Not the best damage on them. Dark Elves are a little weird. I feel like Chosen of the Gods don't do as well versus super tightly clustered things. They like kind of pseudo-loose formation. I don't know. Because they mess up cavalry, and then versus tight infantry, they do pretty okay. Dark Elves getting the points a little bit quicker. Looks like the Tomb Kings will take point 3. Point 2 is going to be contested, and Dark Elves get point 1 as Carrion Summons fly over the top to harass Dark Shards, I imagine. Dark Riders are starting to come in now for the Dark Elves. Get a little bit of mobile pressure on those Carrion. Scourge Runners all firing at Cetra. A little bit of poke damage here and there, but nothing too impressive just yet. Carrion help route off a Dark Shard that the Chosen of the Gods lit up. I feel like the Tomb Kings haven't been summoning much. Yeah, Thunderwolf's saving up money. I wonder what he's going to spend it on. At that much? I wonder if it's Seppi stocks or if he's going to spam out 2 Nehekar Horsemen at the same time. Not sure. Burning Head down the line. Going to take out 1 Skeleton Warrior. Deletes it entirely. That's fine. That's okay. Skeletons and Bleak Swords fighting over the central point. Dark Shards are contributing a little bit of capture weight, but it's a little risky. If their front line falls apart, they will be in big trouble, but it looks like Dark Elves are sending reinforcements, so they'll be okay. Black Ark Corsairs get into a quick fight with Skeleton Warriors. They would win that, if not for the giant cat providing support for those Skeleton Warriors, so we'll see what the Dark Elves can bring as a bit of support for themselves. More Black Ark Corsairs. And the Dark Elves have almost no mobility, which could be a problem. As we see, the Carrion are in their backline. Dark Riders trying to peel them off, and they'll do okay damage. But Carrion's 46 melee defense does make it hard for Dark Riders to actually get a ton of damage out. More Dark Riders getting summoned. For the Tomb Kings, in comes a Tomb Scorpion. And I heard someone say that the Tomb Scorpions got collision attacks. I didn't know that they did, and we have not been seeing them much in land battles, so I'm curious to see if they actually get big damage out. But Thunderwolf is ahead on gold damage value by a pretty good margin, and I wouldn't disagree. It feels like the Dark Elves aren't winning the melee fights exceptionally well, and the Tomb Kings have more mobility. The Dark Elves have a lot more range, but it's all having trouble staying online with these Carrion harassing them and stuff. Ushapti Summon is already coming out for the Tomb Kings. It's going to be a long game, though, so they don't get multiples. Those Ushapti will have to be spent chasing down Dark Shards or whatever. Scourge Run Chariot still getting what damage out they can. And this little Tomb Scorpion just scuttling around. Look at him go. Woo! Tomb Scorpion! He's doing his best. High Beastmaster actually coming in to take a fight with Cetra and the Tomb Scorpion. This seems a little risky. He was going for a Tormentor Sword to lock Cetra in place so that the Scourge Runners could actually shoot him. Ballsy, but I guess with good micro, your chariots aren't really in that much trouble. Dark Riders get onto the back line, but they don't have armor piercing, so the Chosen of Gods will be slow targets for them to kill. It looks like the Nehekar Warriors are here to peel. Dark Elves do still have 2 capture points to the Tomb Kings 1, so slowly but surely they're getting a ticket lead. Ticket lead doesn't mean too much. We have to get to 1,500 tickets to get a win. It's not like the Tomb Kings can't come back. And I do think the Tomb Kings have more presence in the battlefield here on the center, but Dark Elves caught right back up on gold damage value. I don't know exactly where they got all of that damage value, but it's clearly somewhere. As Nehekar Horsemen are finally summoned, they get countercharged by Dark Riders, though it actually looks like they're taking a terrible engagement right now. Dark Riders trading up into them with Scourge Runner support. Cetra and his Tomb Scorpion vibing. Lots of HP left for those guys as they ride off the Dark Elves on the low ground, but just like that, the Tomb Kings are starting to run out of momentum. Another Burning Head through Skeleton Spears. It takes a long time for undead warriors to get to the front line. 28 speed is a hell of a drug. So they take a hot minute to get back to that front line. Whereas Dark Elves with 33 speed, that's like, they're 50% faster than their undead counterparts. So they're much easier to summon in a Bleak Sword and get it actually to the front line than the Skeleton Warriors. Dark Elves were making a bit of a play to lock the Tomb Kings in their spawn, or at least delay them getting to the front line. It looks like that's about to crumble, but it's still good damage while it lasted. High Beastmaster still has 18 shots left as he continues to harass Cetra, just be a pain in his ass. Ah, that's why he's being so bold. He wanted Cetra to take the fight in front of his Coldwood Knights, but he's going to use a Tormentor Sword to lock Cetra in place. 2 seconds left, 1 second left, and the net has worn off. Cetra now can get to safety, but with 40% physical resistance from the Incantation of Protection, he is quite tanky, and he summons in more Nekar Horsemen to aid him. Tomb Scorpion is also in, and these Coldwood Knights are going to take a lot of damage. Now, Dark Elves, I think they already used their Murderous Prowess or Murderous Mastery or whatever. I think that is spent for the whole domination game. So unfortunately, the Coldwood Knights don't get that second wind they usually get that makes them so dangerous. More Coldwood Knights getting summoned in for the Dark Elves, and they are making a late game push into full cavalry. Not a lot of infantry coming to back them up, and that could be concerning if they start to lose hold of these capture points. Cold Knights got a lot of damage out onto Cetra, but they weren't able to finish the job. They're now terror routing. We'll see if that turns into a natural route or if it is just going to be fine. High Beastmaster still full HP. Scourge Runner's running out of ammunition, though. And the Tomb Kings putting up a lot of a fight, really trying to get their backs into these melee engagements. We got a 2v1 in the low ground, but with a Firecaster here, she's been using a lot of Burning Heads. I don't know how much Winds of Magic she has left, but if she has another one, she could easily clear out these guys and then secure point 1 for the Dark Elves further. Dark Elves starting to resummon some units, get rid of various tattered forces. Cold Knights take another fight on the low ground, doing a lot of damage to the Tomb Scorpion. Hey, thanks Adobe Creative Cloud. Thanks for interrupting me to go boodadoop and tell me that you have updates available. That's great. That's cool. I need that right now. So Cold Knights doing very well here. High Beastmaster staying safe. His Scourge Run chariots were trying to act as regular chariots, and Nekar Horsemen say, ha, no, and charge them. Get some decent damage down. Crows of Cain for the Dark Elves, beating up Carrion. Their self-regeneration and ROR stats give them a lot of oomph in that matchup. They'll do quite well, even when they're being blinded by the Necrotechs. And the double Necrotechs are actually both still here, both providing that Van Braces of the Sun. There's that Burning Head we were predicting a while ago, immediately killing off a Skeleton Warrior and securing the low ground for the Dark Elves. Thunderwolf, again, though, is up on gold damage value. Some of that is fraudulent. I know there's a lot of bugs with certain things don't count. Like, certain spells do and certain spells don't count towards your damage value. So if all of the Burning Heads haven't counted, then that is very fraudulent because the Burning Heads have done a ton of damage. But still, just showing that Thunderwolf is scrapping back in this fight quite heavily. Cold Knights taking a fight with Nekar Warriors and the Tomb Scorpion. Probably not a great fight for them. They suck at clearing out infantry. They're not enjoying that whatsoever. Dark Shard's raining a lot of fire in. They still have a lot of DPS potential, but their HP is so low that if anything gets to them, they will die quite quickly. Tomb Kings, unfortunately, have to spend a lot of money on getting troops back to the fight. As we can see, the Burning Headcaster plus all these Dark Shards have cleaned out the Tomb Kings infantry. There's no one left to take the points or hold the points. Tomb Kings currently have the double cap, though, so they're starting to catch up some of that ticket imbalance. Both sides spending about the same amount of money, taking about the same amount of damage, so really it is anyone's game at this point. Getting those tickets back to equality is important. Cetra terror routes off the back line, allowing his Nekar Warriors and Skeleton Spears to keep moving up. We do need some kind of backline play from the Tomb Kings to finish off these Dark Shards. Because if these guys are allowed to stay at this low of HP and provide a ton of DPS, that's just going to be criminal. Good job clearing out these two with the remnants of your Nekar Warriors. Like that a lot. Something's got to be done about these two guys. As Blackheart Corsairs get into a fight with the Necrotechs Flaming Whips give them 12 and 4 for melee stats. Really like that tech piece. That's so good. Makes it easy for your Nekar Warriors to just buzzsaw through Blackheart Corsairs. Carrion coming in. Tomb King sending in a big wave. Getting a little concerned for the Dark Elves here. They're summoning some Bleak Swords on the back line, but this middle is about to break. We have a full health Blackheart Corsair, but that won't save them. Jaff's Incantation Curse Blades is going to secure this fight for the Nekar Warriors. Now they push forward. Super wounded Cold Knight, super wounded Dark Shard, and a Beastmaster with no ammunition. Does not inspire confidence to hold the center. Cetra's chilling back. Doesn't have a lot of HP. Doesn't want to take a bunch of free damage, but does want to hang around, be a spellcaster for his army. All the good stuff. Thunderwolf still maintaining that little damage value lead. It's got up to about 1,700. Getting closer to 2,000. And the Dark Elves still have a ticket lead, but it is shrinking by the second. So Chibambu has to do something. Play to keep their Tomb Kings in their spawn. Sounds better. Yeah. Chat's popping off. I'm busy. I won't catch all your chat. Thanks. Let's all agree to pretend we didn't see the first message. Chimbabu was obviously calculated. Yeah. Alright. Tomb Kings have secured the center. There's no shot for the Dark Elves to take it back with their current forces, so they would have to summon in some pretty considerable line breakers to get these guys out of here. You have 3 Tomb Kings characters in the middle, and then like 3 damaged infantry, a Tomb Scorpion, and Hekar Horseman. That's a lot to deal with. Dark Rider's getting thrown into the wind. High Beastmaster staying here and fighting. He does have bonus versus infantry on his chariot. He doesn't have bonus versus large, so he's not that good at dueling the Tomb Scorpion. Cetra getting poked by Dark Riders. Isn't that scared of these guys, but he's just so low on HP. I think the Dark Elves are throwing anything they have at him to try and get rid of him. Get rid of any of his spell casting. Ooh, Cold Knight Summon! Cold Knight Summon plus the Tormentor Sword. He's been using that combo a lot, but that could finally kill off Cetra. And then a beautiful Burning Head down the side of these Nehekar Warriors. I didn't know he had the Winds of Magic in him, but the Burning Head betrays him. Curves into the Bleak Swords a little bit instead of out into the Nehekar Warriors. So a bit unfortunate for the Dark Elves there, but they did make a big play. Cetra did get netted by the Tormentor Sword. Now he is swamped. Now he is dead. And the Tomb Kings are not like Skaven or Greenskins or something where if their lord dies, they're useless. They are undead. They'll fight to the last, but they are going to crumble more easily, and there are no more spells for them. So really big play there from Chim to try and get back in this. We have a Chosen the God summon out from the Tomb Kings, though. That is a big investment from Thunderwolf. And actually, I gotta say, I don't know much about Dom, so take these criticisms with a grain of salt, but I gotta criticize Thunderwolf for having this many resources piled up. He was starting to choke the Dark Elves out, but like giving up this much battlefield presence. I know he wanted to summon the Chosen of the Gods, but he still has 1,900 supplies left. I wonder if he's saving up to get Cetra back, but is really that worth it? Is you're letting the Dark Elves recombobulate, retake positions, reform lines, all this stuff. I felt like the Dark Elves were in such a bad spot. Not like game-losing bad spot, but tough. And in comes a summon of the Keperguard and Hekar Warriors, so it wasn't even for Cetra. I'm concerned. Is the Dark Elves cleaning up. Now your Necrotechs don't have a lot of support, so they can actually be picked off by the Chariot, by the Sorceress. Bleak Swords are streaming in. I don't know what's going to stop these Chosen of the Gods. It looks like Dark Riders are going to try and ride out. Nehekar Horsemen are trying to do a little bit of peeling, but Dark Riders get past them. They won't do a lot of damage to the Chosen of the Gods, but they will just interfere. And now we can see even more summons coming in from the Tomb Kings. I just have to think they were a little late to the party. Good job stopping the Dark Riders. I just meant like battlefield late to the party, not immediate play late to the party.
One of your units has been destroyed.
Shut up. Don't tell me what of my units have been destroyed. High Beastmaster. Still trying to kill a little Necrotech that's between his horse's hooves. But the Dark Elves have almost captured point 2. We are nearly tied on tickets. And the Tomb King's coming in spooky with some Tomb Guard with halberds, but mostly it's the Keperguard that are going to be my concern when they get here. I was talking to Tim the Wilder, teaser for upcoming content. We talked about best regiments around for campaign, land battles, and domination. And he mentioned the Keperguard are very, very, very strong for the Tomb Kings because they're so good at just sitting on a point and holding it, and they can trade up into a lot of infantry, get a lot of healing out. So Tim spoke highly of them, but Thunderwolf actually keeping them back to defend the Chosen of the Gods. Now he's moving forward, but they need to get into the melee as soon as possible because time is not working in the Tomb King's favor anymore. 2 capture points for the Dark Elves. Point 1 is still completely in their control as Cold Knights are going for the flank onto the Chosen of the Gods. The Chosen of the Gods don't seem to see it coming. Now they're starting to run back towards the spears they just summoned. Run, Chosen of the Gods, run! As they sprint backwards. Dark Elves were contesting point 3 for bits. They're almost going for a triple cap, which this late in the game could be super deadly. Tomb Kings have almost taken back point 2. Dark Elves have kind of got to finish the work they did onto point 3 over here as Dark Riders take a fight against Nehekar Horsemen with a downhill charge. They should be fine, but Nehekar Horsemen are outclassing the Dark Riders just a bit. Both are light cav, but Nekar Horsemen are worth quite a bit more. Dark Rider summons coming in from Chim. Trying to get more mobility in this late game stage. Don't have time for your infantry to slowly waddle towards points anymore. It's all about speed. It's all about getting there when you need to get there. And the middle is controlled by the Tomb Kings against. The Tomb Kings again have a double cap, and they are going to catch up on that value and pull ahead. Finally, this Necrotect is getting taken out by the High Beastmaster. There's a whole nother one, and I don't know if he has time to really deal with it. The middle is uncontestable. There's a Kepler Guard. There's another Nehekar Warrior. There's more skeletons coming in, and Thunderwolf has a lot of infantry coming. Dark Elves do manage to secure point 3, so again, they have a double cap. They are ticking up to the lead, but Dark Riders cannot out-capture these infantry for long, especially with Nekar Horsemen charging them down. Dark Elves still have a stranglehold on point 1. That is not a concern at all. But point 3 is a temporary gain for them at best. Chosen the Gods somehow ended up this far up the battlefield. It has to be a mistake of some kind, but Tormentor's Sword is out. Cold Knights are trying to come up and say hello. Tomb Guard with Halberds fading away. Where are the Kepler Guard? Kepler Guard were wandering down towards point 3. Now they're coming back to point 2. Thunderwolf getting his ankles broken a little bit here by Chim. And Dark Elf starting to take point 2 back. That could be a key triple cap this late in the game. The Tomb Kings can take a lot of stuff back if they have time, but the problem is they're just running out of time. Because they actually have more infantry, they have more combat prowess, but these Dark Riders are running wherever they need to be and just getting some quick captures here and there. And some key... I don't want to be too harsh and say, like, big misplays, but it feels like Thunderwolf has just not been super decisive about where he wants the Kepler Guard to be, so they're still trying to find a fight and get in there. And they've been wandering around for quite a while. They're now on point 2, but the Dark Elves have enough capture weight, apparently, to keep point 2 in their holding, which is weird. I think with 2 infantry and a Chosen Gods and a hero here, you'd think they'd be able to capture it from... a Bleak Sword? Why wasn't that ticking up?
There is only defeat.
That looked weird. Why wasn't that ticking up? The Tomb Kings had so much shit there. Okay. I'm catching up in chat. I'm confused. Is Human Boy casting domination? This is the World Cup, man! World Cup has everything! World Cup has land battles, conquest, and domination. Dark Riders actually have more capture weight than Skeleton Spearmen. Huh. Today I learned something. That was a very close game between these two. I don't know why I'm checking values. It doesn't really matter in domination because you just resummon them, so that's not explanatory. Really good play. I think both players played quite well from what I can tell. Again, I have limited experience. I acknowledge that. But both players played quite well. It just felt like Chim was a little more decisive. I felt like Thunderwolf took better fights here and there. I feel like he had individually better trades. I feel like he had individually better engagements. But I also feel like he had to stop. I'm exaggerating to prove a point, but I feel like if it was a boxing match, Thunderwolf had to stop and think and throw one really good punch to Chim's chin and then stop and think. And Chim was just throwing slaps, and it's like, listen, not all of these are gonna land, but I'm doing shit. I'm doing shit all the time. I'm everywhere all the time, all at once. I fucked up with, like, my Dark Riders or something. Fuck them, who cares? My Cold Knights didn't get a great engagement. Whatever, I got Bleak Swords and Dread Spears over here and shit. And it felt like Thunderwolf was just, like, a little slow to respond at times. But when he responded, he won a ton of engagements. He just couldn't, like, keep control of the battlefield. Yeah. All right. Don't depart. Hey, don't leave, because we have 4 more streams today. I'm going to try and work out how to raid myself. But, yeah. So let's figure that out together. But for the final thing, just so you can see it all together, that is a win for Chim. And the Balkans will move on in a very close 3-2 series. If we go over here, we can go Georgia and Balkans. So the Balkans are currently fighting Switzerland. So those games will be done by the 15th. I think one of their players needed a little more time, and we granted that to them. So I think their games will be done by Friday, but it's not a huge deal. Yeah. So our next stream, which is coming up right now, is Italy versus Germany. If you want to just go there yourself, you can go to my channel and just click over onto Italy versus Germany. You can see it's coming up right now. Otherwise, I'm going to try and raid there. Wait. No, sorry, we're doing Russia versus Spain. That's my bad. We're doing Russia versus Spain. Just go in the order that's on there. But I need to raid myself now, so let's figure out how to raid me. Edit. Customization. Redirect. Okay, we're going to Russia versus Spain? Yes, Russia versus Spain. All right, I'll send you all there. I'll see you there in just a second. If you're in VOD land and you were just here to watch this best of 5, congratulations, you're at the end. Watch all of our other World Cup content. If you're live and you're just hopping stream to stream, come along, friends, come along.